Hello guys, welcome to a new video, and in this new video we are going to go over what SCP is. And SCP stands for um, Secure Copy Protocol, and this protocol relies on SSH for security, and SCP allows the secure and authenticated copying of anything that exists in the Cisco iOS file. So we can copy anything we want from the Cisco iOS file, but securely. We're not using FTP because FTP is not secure. So SCP is like FTP but with steroids because it relies on SSH for security, so it's going to be very secure. And the behavior of SCP is similar to that of a remote copy, RCP, which is the old version of SCP and which comes from the Berkeley R2 suite, except that SCP relies on SSH for security, like I said before, and SCP requires that authentication, authorization, and accounting, AAA, to be configured so the router can determine whether the user has the correct privilege level. Okay, so um, if you do not configure AAA, SCP is not going to work. Okay. And like I said before, CP allows a user who has appropriate authorization to copy any file that exists in the Cisco iOS file system, or IFS, to and from a router by using the copy command. And you can also perform this from a workstation, which is the one that we're going to do. We're going to copy from a workstation. And for us to be able to do that, we are going to do it from using IT Pro TV lab that we have right here. So what we're going to do is we are going to configure um, NYH1. We're going to configure to run the SCP server. We're going to configure SSH and all that. And then from this computer over here, we're going to run that SCP protocol and we're going to get the file from NYH1. So let's go ahead and configure NYH1 with SCP. And you need to first give it a domain name because we have to configure SSH. So give it a domain name. And the host, you can give it a host name, but the host name that we have is fine. So we're going to keep that. So let's go ahead and create a crypto key, generate RSA, generate keys, modulus 2048. And we're going to give it 2048 because we are going to use version 2. And version 2 needs a minimum of at least of 20 or 1024 bits, but we're going to use 2048 bits for this. And after the key is created, we are going to enable SSH version 2 because version 1 is not as secure as version 2. So as you can see right here, SSH 1.9 is enabled. That means that version 1 is enabled, but we want to um, enable SSH version 2. So let's go ahead and do SSH version 2. And then after that, we need to create a local username account. So it's going to be Asker, username Asker, and then privilege 15. We're going to give it the highest privilege. And then after this, we are going to do a secret. And the secret, which is the password, just an encrypted password, a hash password, is going to be CCNA security. And that's the one that we're going to use to log in from the computer to the router to get that copy that we want. And then after that, like I said, we need to enable 888, AAA, and you do it by running the AAA new model. And then after that, we need to configure authentication, and the authentication is going to do the login default um, local, and this means that we want to authenticate using the local. We want to authenticate login using the local account, and then we're going to do 888 authorization, and we are going to authorize um, this one. If you do a question mark, it will tell you that the EXEC, what it does is it's going to start you from the shell, from the exe mode. So let's go ahead and do exe, and then we're going to just leave it as default and then local, because we're going to authenticate the local account. And then after that, what we need to do, we need to turn on the SCP server enable. There we go, SCP is up and running. Let's go ahead and exit, and let's do an debug IP SCP. So we're going to turn on the SCP server for debugging. So whenever we connect from the computer, we're going to see that traffic coming into the router. Okay, so the router is up and running. So let's go ahead and go to the computer. Let's see if we are able to ping 192.168.16.10, because if we don't have connectivity, we won't be able to connect. So ping 192.168.16.10. There we go, and we have connectivity, as you can see right here. So now let's go ahead to this computer over here, and let's go ahead to the internet. And what we want to do, we want to download a PuTTY SCP binary, or it's PSCP that is called. There we go, PSCP. You're going to go to the first link, and then we are not going to download PuTTY, but we are going to download a binary file, which is this one right here, command line secure file copy. That's the one that we're going to be using, PSCP. Let's go ahead and save it to my C drive. That's where I want to save it. So let's go ahead and go to the C drive right here and then save it. So that's good. Um, and then after that, since it's saved there, what I want to do is I want to run the command prompt as an admin. So let's go ahead and run that as an admin. And then let's go ahead to File Explorer. And I want to go to my C drive and get that PSCP. Um, PSCP, as you can see right here. And now we're going to run a command so we can connect to the router. So it's SCP, and then after that, you need to give it a at asker. No, it's actually asker at, and then we have to give it the name, not the name, but the IP address of the server that we want to connect to. And it's 16, I think it's 103. Let's verify that by going to Edge, and let's do an IP show IP interface brief, which is my favorite command. And we can see right here, it is 103. So 103 is configured over here. Let's go ahead back. So it is 103. And before I can do that, I want to see which one is the one that we want to copy. So we want to copy this one right here. And I have it written down. So make sure that you write it down, the one that you want to copy. So let's go ahead and back to the computer. So 103. And then you want to do a column. And you want to copy the C to 900. And this is universal. Universal K9 MZ. Then after MZ is gonna come dot SPA, all in capital. And then after SPA is going to be dot 152 4 dot M6 dot bin. That's the file that we want to copy. And then we're gonna tell it where do I want to put it. I want to put it under the users, admin, and under downloads. That's where I want to save it. And what is the name that I want to give it? I just want to give it a C2900.bin name. There we go. And now if we hit enter, more than one resource is not supported. So let's see what is not supporting. Let's verify my command. So TCP asker at 192.168.16.103. Hmm. Let's go ahead and just give it the complete name. So it is Universal K9 MZ that SPA, right? I believe. Let me see. Yep, that SPA dot 152 4 dot M capital M6 dot bin. Let's see if that works. It's still saying that it's not supporting this, so ask her at, let's see if there is no space in between the C over here and the colon. There we go, and now it works. So you do not need a space over here between the 103 colon and the C. And now it's asking us to verify the RSA2, so version 2. Let's say yes. Why? And now it's asking us for the password. As you can see, this password that I set up was CCNA security. There we go. And now, as you can see right now, we are now copying the file. And if you go back to the server, we're going to see that SCP debug. As you can see, we are receiving information. And now the router is sending a copy of this C290 Universal K9 MC SPA 152 4M6 bin. And now we are saying that we are receiving it, and we are receiving over here because you can see that we are up to 26%, 29%, and this copy is going to be saved into downloads. And as you can see right now, the size is only, it doesn't tell me any size. There's no size to it, but we need to wait for this to be 100%. And whenever it gets to 100%, um, we are going to see the file there. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave that running, and we are going to go to take a quiz for this section 2 of the CCNA security that I created, and I'm going to leave a link for you guys so you guys can also take it. So what is authorization and priv? What does that stand for? That means that, let's see, password based on hash but not encryption. That's based but not encryption. So B is this one right here. C, the process of decision making, such as routing, blocking, and forwarding, that is performed by protocols like ERP and SCP. This is done by the control plane. So this is C. Authentication is used and encryption is used. This requires the router to have the crypto set features on the image. So this is going to be number 1. And then does not use the network to manage. It managed by going straight to the router console port. So this is going to be out of band, which is E, and then A is going to be this one over here. Okay, and now multiple choice, an internet protocol that enables synchronization of computer clock times in a network of computers by exchanging the time signals. This is the NTP protocol. Refers to other functions and processes that forward packets frames from one interface to another, and this one is going to be the data plane. Enhanced security authentication ensures that traps are read by intended party only. Uses the engine ID, so this is going to be SNMP version 3. Define the distance from the clock reference clock. This is going to be NTP master or Stratton. Okay, open standard protocol uses traps. Receive no reply, has limitations, cannot retrieve batches of information. This is going to be SNMP version 1. Now, true and false. Addition of informs, receives, and responds. Community string. This is SNMP version 2, so this is false. Allows files to be copied securely between two systems, uses SSH. So that's the one that we're doing right now. So it's SCP, and this is saying that it's NTP, so that's false. Is the element of a system that configures, monitors, and provides management, monitoring, and configuration services. Two types, inbound and out-of-band. This is the management plane. That is true. Uses the network IP protocol, IP address as a protocol to configure and manage a router or a switch via SSH. Out of band? No, this is in band. Um, so this is false. Let's go ahead and check my answers. And there we go, 100%. So let's go back to the IT Pro TV Labs. And as you can see right here, we have copy or file. And as you can see, we have copied to the downloads files. The size is 96,086 and 816 kilobytes. Okay, so we have copied a file using SCP, which relies on SSH and also 888 authentication. So we are done with this. Video, and if you guys enjoy, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, CCNA Daily Tips. I have a bunch of videos on CCNA security, CCNP, ICND1 and ICND2. And also, if you want to go ahead, if you have a Twitter account, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And if you don't have a Twitter account, go ahead and create one and then follow me at CCNA Daily Tips. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.